My pussy.
Wow. Perfect time to start recording.
What's going on, everyone? It's Chris. This is episode 7 of Marketing Mandems presented by Mercury Marketing, and I'm here with
Nathan.
And Ryan.
And anyways, guys, big shout out for Sam Mealy coming on the last show. So big shout out to Sam. Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed it.
It was a slapper.
Yeah. I think it was a good
For
pod.
19, man.
Not a dull moment.
That kid's fucking incredible.
He's giving her. Sam's giving her for 19, 100%.
Yeah.
And just honestly, just not even 19. I think in general, Sam just seems to be dialed in. So I'm glad.
Motivated guy.
Yeah, it seems also like super happy, which is good. It's not like he's motivated and working hard and miserable.
He's self-aware as he's doing it.
Yeah, he seems like whenever I talk to him, he's always in a good mood. Even when he's come to me with like, maybe business problems that we're talking about or something, it's always through like a positive lens, which is really good. So yeah, shout out to Sam. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
So today, guys, we're kind of freewheeling. So I just wanted to start with a little thought I've been having around just businesses and their, I guess it would be like misunderstanding of social as far as where it fits in their marketing mix. So we did an episode where we talked exclusively about how important it was to build brand. And I think people forget that brand is definitely being built on social, like in the modern world. 100% brand. Your brand is built on social. But I'd say if you're starting a business, then the actual thinking of brand comes long before there's any like logos or designs. Brand is much more so almost like the ideas, the guiding principles of the organization, and then you're communicating that through logos, design, product offerings, and of course on social. So that's my jumping off point.
Yeah, I kind of see it as like an attitude towards certain things. Like if you're going to be on socials, are you like funny? Are you like super serious? Like here's what we need to do about like, I don't know, like these certain things depending on your product. It's kind of like a personality of the business.
Like what your style is kind of thing.
Yeah. And like as if like your business was a person. And it's like, are they a serious person? Are they not that you have to stick to that exact like emotion every time? But
no, I'd say a perfect example of this is Geico versus Intact Insurance. So if you look at Geico, you have an insurance brand. I mean, they're arguably selling the exact same product. But Geico, their communication is always very funny. They're kind of having fun with all of their advertising. They have the Gecko. They used to have the Geico Caveman. And then Intact is like, Intact, we have your back. It's more so, it's like all their marketing is more serious, more like when there's like trouble, you can count on us kind of thing. Whereas Geico is more like, we're going to save you money and we're going to make you laugh. And it's much more laid back. They're selling the exact same product, but it's positioned completely differently.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there was an example. It was in Terry O'Reilly's This I Know that I just read. And it was talking about how, I believe it was Mercedes that was kind of the dominant brand of car for, I can't remember what even year this was, and then BMW entered the market and basically their messaging was the ultimate driving machine, whereas they positioned Mercedes as the ultimate sitting machine.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mercedes definitely had like the whole luxury market, high-end luxury market capped up. And then, BMW came in, ultimate driving machine, marketing way more like sporty kind of young vehicles. And then BMW, if you read the 23 Irrefutable Laws of Marketing, great book, BMW actually kind of loses their way when they try to go into luxury vehicles. So BMW then comes out with 7 Series, 8 Series vehicles, and they're still trying to extend the ultimate driving machine, but it's like, this thing's a fucking boat. It's no longer a 7 Series is not the ultimate driving machine. You know what I mean? It's a massive vehicle. So they talked about kind of when you extend the brand kind of beyond its initial, like what you were trying to do initially, it kind of starts to lose some of its potency and its believability.
Yeah, that tells you how important branding is or how powerful it is, because if you create like cognitive dissonance in your customers, they like lose like their draw towards your brand. Like if Apple started being like, our computers are like the highest speed or something like that, it would be like what? You're supposed to be like a luxury,
cool,
like
hip.
a cool,
creators. Yeah.
people create on this. Like, why are you like, if they had like wires going across in their commercials and it's like zoom zoom, it's like fucking like bragging about the tech itself. It would be like, this doesn't feel like an Apple commercial.
Yeah.
No, it's always like brand positioning is so important. Like imagine tomorrow. Okay, think about it, Nathan. I know you probably couldn't give a fuck because you're not really a watch guy. I feel like you could you give a fuck about owning a Rolex, or you couldn't give a fuck? Could you?
I'm sure I'll get one.
But could you like
when I have
right
the
now?
money.
Could you give a fuck? Really?
I'm not looking at them.
Yeah. You just don't.
Yeah.
It's like okay, but I was gonna say like me and Mule, I know for a fact would like Rolexes, and it's a big thing for us. Like when I buy one, I'll cry. And right now, if Rolex came out with like a $2,000 model, I would no longer want a Rolex ever again. It would fucking ruin the entire brand for me.
Yeah.
The whole brand would be finished.
You see just a random, like multiple people walking down the street. Yeah, I got a Rolex. It's just the fact of being able to say, now I have a Rolex at a $2,000 entry point is just, it diminishes
Ruined for me. Like $2,000 ruined. And $2,000 is still like, and if you think about it, like an absurd amount to spend on a watch in reality. Like in like a logical brain. Like $2,000 is, why would I buy something that tells the time for $2,000? It makes no sense.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of like handing out participation trophies.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that devalues the first, second, third place of like whatever you're doing. Like Rolex to me is like, I get to have this on my wrist because I reached a certain point financially in my business and my life.
Whatever. Yeah.
So like if you take that away, especially with their brand, like especially like their luxury market is positioning themselves as like some kind of certificate or trophy as far as like.
No, 100%, which brings me to an interesting point because I feel like high-end brands cannot go down. High-end brands cannot go down. But I think it is easier for lower-end brands to actually go up. So if you look at Cadillac is another great example of this. So Cadillac, they started kind of slapping Cadillac badges on the lower end cars. Like pretty much GM was like just recycling body styles and stuff, slapping Cadillac badges on lower end cars, and really damaged the brand in the 90s and early 2000s, I'd say. Now Cadillac's attempting to make a comeback, but I genuinely think they did like irreparable damage in that time. And then whereas you look at car companies, like I'll use cars as an example again because it's easy and I think a lot of people watching can relate. And look at a company like Nissan. Like Nissan has like, you can go buy a Nissan Micra for like $10,000 for like a brand new vehicle. Or you can buy like a Nissan GTR, which is, you know, like an $150,000, $200,000 car. So I feel like if you have a lower end brand, it's easier for you to have high end offerings and extend the brand that way. But if you have a high end brand, I think it's very hard for you to make low end offerings that are meaningful.
Well, yeah, because people are just associating that high-end brand. Like, they already have that image built in their head. So then as soon as you're slapping that sticker, like if you have a Rolex, then you're going low. And then you have a Cadillac, you're going something super cheap. It's just your perception is just damaged of the brand. But if I get what your point is. Like, if you have a lower-end brand and then you kind of come out with a premium or something model of that, you can definitely scale up. But you do more risk to damaging the brand when you have a luxury thing and you're trying to go down.
Yeah, so if you look at like heuristics, it's like a mental model that we use to kind of like for shorthand for things. They call it heuristics. So we use brands as heuristics, like it's a shorthand. That's why if you don't know what the fuck you're buying, like if you just went to the store and you were given like $10,000 to buy your girlfriend or wife or significant other a purse, you were going to be like, all right, I'll just go to Louis Vuitton. Like you would know nothing about purses and be like, I'll just go to Louis Vuitton and fucking spend as much money as possible,
Plus,
right?
you don't want to have to like explain the value to them. You want them to open it and go, "Oh my god,
You got me a Louis Vuitton."
You don't have to explain the material and like how it was made. You just want that brand slapped on.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why like going down market is so damaging, because if you have this brand kind of associated as like a prestige symbol, all these things, the second you go down market, make it more accessible, you lose like exclusivity, you lose so much of that. But a brand can go up market. And if the brand's already like a Nissan, it's kind of like known as like reliable, like well made. You can go up market, extend the brand that way without damaging any of those characteristics.
Yeah.
Like you can buy a cheap Nissan, now I will say though that by the same token, car guys in certain circles would be like, yeah, you can buy a Nissan GTR. It's a sick car. It's like super fast, like it's a cool car. You're still driving a fucking Nissan. Like people say that too. Like you still spend $150K on a fucking Nissan.
Yeah.
So it does go both ways, but I do feel like if you have a low end brand, it's much easier to go upstream. If you have a high end brand, do not go low. Do not go down. If anything, build a different brand, separate it entirely, disconnect it as much as possible, and build a low end offering there.
Agreed. You know what I've been getting into a lot more recently is, have you ever seen, I know you have because you're the one that introduced me to it, but the YouTube channel Company Man?
No.
So good.
It is really good. I'd recommend to people watching. And essentially it kind of just does deep dives on like restaurants, and it'll say like the rise and fall or different businesses. They did Blockbuster, like rise and fall of Blockbuster. But
Sure,
one
that had a lot of views.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro,
it's a big channel.
massive.
Yeah.
It's huge, and he never shows his face, and it's just pictures. And he just you're usually like 5 to 10 minutes tops.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's
Like a
pretty
little
short.
video essay kind of thing.
Yeah, like a video essay is a great way to describe it. But it's really entertaining if you're into. It's obviously entertaining beyond even people that are into business though, because like they have millions and millions of views. Some of these ones, and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck, I guess like because for me, I dove in because I was trying to do research on like fast food chains that were successful and just coffee chains that were successful. I was just trying to do like research in QSR restaurants. And then I was like, fuck, these are actually pretty informative. Yeah, I started watching all of them. And then, yeah, like even our roommate, Dev, who like obviously, I'm sure he has like a peripheral interest in business, but he's not like in business or anything. Even I catch him sometimes just watching them.
Watching on his own now. Yeah, it's great. They did like just talking about, you know, what Five Guys or something did well. For example, we just went to Five Guys recently. And
So
Five
good.
Guys just
Shout out to Five Guys.
slaps. And so they just like built so slowly. Like they just took their time and then just built something like really, really well. And then just made sure that they had the product, like their brand done so well right before they just like completely diluted it like some other companies did, like Quiznos. They just like, oh yeah, anyone open a Quiznos as fast as possible, let's do it. And then like how many Quiznos do you see around today? Which is like,
Yeah, none.
like nothing.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like, so your brand is going to influence your business model. It's going to influence like how you make money. It's going to permeate like all of those aspects of your business. Like Five Guys, for example, when they started, they actually had a sign at their first location, and it was like, "There's plenty of good hamburger places around here. So if you're in a rush, go to one of them." Because they were pretty much saying like, we have no interest in being like the fastest. We're going to make you an incredible burger.
Yeah, if you want it done right.
If you want it done quickly though, there's a bunch of okay places around here. Feel free to leave. But
That's interesting. That's
so
good.
yeah, it's and we know from like marketing psychology, when you do announce a negative, people then believe the next thing you're about to say, especially when it's a negative that would matter. You know what I mean? So you saying like, our service is going to be slow, but you're going to get a fucking great burger. You're going to have to wait, but you're going to get a great burger. And then people are like, oh, okay, like the burger must actually be really good.
Yeah. Well, to bring it up, like, I mean, for your coffee business as well, you guys did a great job with your signage there. Like your seating has never been a strong suit there, but it's all about the taste of the coffee. And you called that out.
Yeah.
A sign saying our seating sucks, but our coffee is great. You can't drink chairs. Like,
Yeah,
that's great. It gives people a little laugh, and they see that, and it just calls out the negative.
Yeah, the other thing I will say is that for anyone thinking about like competitive strategy as far as branding, you can't take the position of a competitor that is already holding that position in people's mind. So the example with that Mule just referenced is like with the coffee company, we had a place down the street from us, probably like, I don't even know, like 10 times the size as far as like actual physical footprint of the store. So they had a bunch of seating, and they had like a sign outside that said like upstairs patio. And it's like an old historic building. It's very nice in there. And we were just like a walk-in, walk-out place. So we put a sign out that said, our seating sucks, but our coffee's great. # can't drink chairs. And like people have taken pictures of it. It's been like shared around. And it was like, I was taking the position of like the heavily, like we're not the place where you go sit. We're just the place you get incredible coffee. And so when you're thinking about your brand positioning, you have to say, okay, where is everyone else in the market, and where can I fit in? Where is there potentially a need that's not being fulfilled or not being communicated? That's the other thing. And finding that hole in the market.
Yeah, and doing it with a little bit of humor like you did too is, if you can do that, kind of make people laugh in a certain way or make them feel your message, then it's going to be a lot more impactful.
Yeah, a great example of that too is Buckley's. Tastes awful, but it works, right?
Yeah,
Like that's a
I remember
famous one.
Yeah.
Avis car rental. We're Avis. We try harder. That's when Hertz was like number 1 in car rental. So
Yeah, they
Avis,
said we're number 2, so we try harder.
Yeah, exactly. Like these, and so these messages are all like, for example, like, and then as far as positioning goes, like when Tylenol was like hard on your stomach, right? Or sorry, Motrin was the OG painkiller. And it was hard on the stomach, and there was a study that even said it could cause like some stomach
internal bleeding.
Yeah. So then Tylenol came out, and they're like, we're Tylenol. We're like the pain reliever that's strong on pain but easy on your stomach. Like that was their positioning. So then everyone knew who they were talking about. Like you don't need to. That's the other thing, guys. First of all, sorry, I'm dominating this conversation. I have so much to say.
No, go ahead.
First of all, everyone says business isn't competitive. That's a fucking lie. Anyone who says that is a liar. Don't believe anything else they say about business. Complete bullshit.
Business is war.
Business is war. PBD, baby. No, but seriously, business is it's fucking competitive.
Yeah.
And then so when you don't need to directly call it your competitors. Most of the time, people are gonna know what you're implying, or people are gonna ascribe that other label to them. Like Tylenol didn't say Motrin's bad for your stomach. Tylenol just said we're not bad for your stomach, and everyone went, "Oh yeah, because Motrin's bad for your stomach, right?"
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sorry, you guys go.
No, yeah, they did a great job positioning themselves that way. There was another thing from that book, This I Know, and it comes back to making your your customers, whoever, feel your message. And I think it was British Railway Company, and they were trying to essentially like get more customers or whatever the case was, and they were meeting with a marketing company, and so they got invited to this marketing company's head office, and they were told to sit and wait in the waiting room. Like 10 minutes go by, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's like 50 minutes, and they're like, okay, they just got up, they're ready to go. And then the marketing agency came down. They're like, now you know how your customers feel. They're like, do you want to talk? Like, they made them feel it. They made them feel it first, and then they ended up signing the deal with them.
I'm pretty sure too, to add to that story, I'm pretty sure they even made sure there was like fucking dirt, and like it was like kind of dirty and like there was shit on the floor. Like
hot in there. Yeah, left out all those details.
Yeah. No. Like they made it like feel like because the service was so bad. So they were like, we need to like overhaul it. And that's the other thing, like guys, marketing, like we've talked about this before, but it permeates all aspects of your business. It's going to be, it's your customer experience. It's everything. So it goes through all aspects of the business, but on a side note, like just being as customer focused as possible is always the best way to win. But I'm trying to think of another good example of a positioning war that went really well. I mean, Wendy's had Where's the Beef? Was it Wendy's that was Where's the Beef?
I want to say yes, but
I know A&W like pushes the no hormones, no preservatives.
Yeah.
Like basically not even like one direct competitor, just everybody in the fast food is like giving you shit, but
A&W is like, kind of positioning themselves like the best, right?
Yeah. Or like the healthiest for you.
Which I think, which I think they've done a good job of. I mean, and then I'm trying to think, as far as like the fast food wars go.
I remember seeing on the back of a bus today, it was Arby's, Where's the Beef? Or no, not Where's the Beef. We have the meats. Oh, but who goes to Arby's?
Bro, they're still kicking. They're still kicking.
They must be a lot more popular in the States, no?
But even like I look at the one that's around the corner from here on Niagara Street, it's been there forever. So I'm like, it must, like the franchisee must make money. Whoever owns that, like I don't know how, but they must.
I don't think I've ever been to Arby's.
It's disgusting.
I tried it once.
It's fucking terrible.
It's like Burger King. I would never go to Burger King.
Bro, yeah, that's another brand that just died. There's a Burger King around the corner from here too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Where do you think they went wrong?
Burger King?
Yeah, is it more popular other areas? Like, is it just our own
Doesn't Burger
localized
King
bias?
own a bunch?
They might be part of a group, but I think the problem with Burger King
They bought Tim's too.
Yeah.
briefly, and now they don't know.
Oh, they
they-
No, I think actually the Brazilian company that owns like a bunch of them owns Tim's and Burger King. Actually, you're right.
Yeah, okay.
I think Burger King went wrong because I think there was a competition before, from what I understand, in the 90s. It was like Whopper versus Big Mac, right? There was like this competition.
Like Pepsi Cola? Or
Yeah,
Coke, sorry.
Pepsi versus Coke. There was like a competition. And guys, like don't be afraid of identifying a competitor in the market. I find like steel sharpens steel. It's good to have someone to be like, you're trying to like cut them down, or a few people that you're like, fuck these guys. I'm going to fucking maneuver and battle with them. And so I think that was good for them. I think the Whopper versus Big Mac debate was good. And then I don't know if it just like, I don't really know.
Everybody picked a side, and then that was the end of it.
I guess so, yeah. Because like Burger King's still like a thing, but I'm like, yeah, like
Do you think maybe they went too head to head instead of trying to differentiate more so?
The other thing, I think it was a little bit just. I think they've actually stopped the competitive nature of it, which I think was good for them. And then the other thing was, I think they needed to kind of change their positioning, because their thing was like,
I can't think of one slogan from them.
they're the flame broiled, right? Like that's their thing, like the flame broiled. Their burgers have grill marks on them, right?
Home of the Whopper.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the
Oh,
king,
yeah.
right? The king. You
Yeah.
get the crown when you go to Burger King.
Yeah, I know about the King. Yeah,
But it just.
Do they still do commercial? Well, I guess like a lot of people don't really even watch commercials anymore, but I wonder if they still do like ads and stuff with the King.
like
and
YouTube
those
and-
funny ads and stuff I think they used to do.
Yeah, I feel like it's just not.
Probably
not
got canceled.
I also think their kind of communication was around the flame broiled taste, and then recently I'm trying to think of like the most recent Burger King commercials I can think of had to do with chicken. So you know what I mean? Like you're the
Maybe-
burger,
Yeah.
and then now just
throwing
people
shit at the fan.
exactly, and now other brands like we just talked about Five Guys like own the position of being a place to get a really good burger way better than Burger King. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if a Five Guys and a Burger King are beside each other, you're never going to Burger King.
Yeah.
Like fucking unless you are in an absolute rush and need to just hit their
unless you're
shitty
going through the
drive-through.
drive-through, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I mean now convenience, at least among fast food restaurants, is commodified, right? Like it's if you go to a Wendy's, McDonald's, A&W, Burger King, like you're gonna wait around the same amount of time. It's not like there's gonna be a big discrepancy. So yeah, that's a good question. What happened to Burger King? Gotta watch Company Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say the other like another brand that's just on dead. It's dead. It's dead. It just doesn't know it yet. It's like Pizza Hut. That brand is fucking dead.
How so? Why do you think so?
It's terrible. It
Yeah.
like fell off a cliff. I feel like it used to be like kind of differentiated and good. Now it's just
I
shit.
don't know if there's any like pizza franchise I would actually trust to eat except for Papa John's.
Fucking Papa's in the house. And one
Papa
of
John's is good. I like Domino's too. Domino's is good.
Yeah, no.
I like the.
I
Have you
don't
ever
know
had
if I
the?
had
Have you ever had the
Domino's.
thin crust from Domino's?
No.
Oh, you gotta, it slaps.
I don't.
I just like can't see myself choosing a franchise over like
an
a
independent.
yeah. Once
Yeah.
you know like
the good spot in your town. Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
I guess it's also like, yeah, if you went somewhere else and you just needed like the closest pizza kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
But
I
that
guess, no franchise pizza brand has like screamed to me, get this instead of your local pizza place.
So if you had to buy a franchise right now, if you had to buy any fast food franchise right now, we got a couple minutes left. We can wrap this up. You guys both cross your arms. If you had to buy any, I know.
I know what you're. Well,
I think I know what I'd buy.
Give me a second.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I'd buy a
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
I knew that's what you were gonna say too.
Like,
Okay, let's-
buy
let me-
the entire
Actually-
franchise.
Okay, Chick-fil-A is
or
off the
just
table. You can't choose Chick-fil-A.
Buy the entire
Five Guys.
franchise.
Fast. Okay. Well. Okay. Fuck.
And if it wasn't Five Guys, I'd buy. You know what I'd buy? One I think is actually really hot. Like I think the brand still has like some cultural Popeyes.
Popeyes. Yeah.
So if
I
you're
love
if we're
Popeyes.
taking away Five Guys and Chick-fil-A, which are my first two, I'd buy a Popeyes.
I'm trying to just think of. Like we have the local urban cravings here, which is like if people know, like Freshie more so is kind of the similar vibe.
Freshy, kind of a for if anyone's watching the States, a kind of a Chipotle vibe, but not really. But
So I'd say Chipotle then, because we don't have any around like close to us, but there is Chipotle's around.
Yeah, we got like quesada and burrito boys and shit, but we don't have like Chipotle. Yeah,
I go with Chipotle.
beautiful. Nathan?
I go with Booster Juice.
Yeah, fuck a booster juice, eh?
Yeah, I think the health thing is going on like just going up and up and up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that
people convinced that it's healthy.
no,
That's good.
100%, man, 100%. Then bonus points was the other franchise I would buy is a Cinnabon. I think Cinnabon's fucking lit. Go completely against the health thing.
The other side,
complete other side. I do feel
I think
like
Company Man has one on Cinnabon.
Yeah, watched it.
Yeah, they were bought out and then they started doing shit, right? Like they were.
Yeah, they went downhill for a while, but I feel like they're on the turn. They're coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd buy a Cheesecake Factory.
I've still never been.
It's so fucking
I've been
good.
once.
Yeah.
It was
good.
But I wouldn't buy a McDonald's. I wouldn't buy a Burger King. Would not buy a Wendy's. Wouldn't buy an A&W. I just feel
overpaying.
I feel like you're overpaying and like they don't really have like a carved out niche in the marketplace. Like
I mean, McDonald's is just a fucking.
it's still a behemoth.
It's just a juggernaut.
Yeah.
It's like Christianity. It's just here.
So it's funny. They're fuck, we're gonna like run out of time, but their McCafe brand in Australia, like just the coffee, massive, 1,200 stores just in Australia. It's called McCafe.
That's it.
They don't even call it McDonald's. They
Which
call it
is
McCafe.
funny because they
No
said
way.
like big chain restaurants and stuff that are trying to do coffee or whatever wouldn't survive. Like wouldn't. do
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah. Those Australians are all fucking cap, bro. Enjoy your McCafe.
Maybe not in Europe, but I don't know about Australia. Are they really that big?
Oh man,
Yeah.
Starbucks is ginormous in Europe.
no kidding.
In England, there's Costa Coffee and Starbucks,
okay,
and then in Italy, they're trying. They're not really doing
Italy,
much in
Paris,
Italy.
probably
Yeah.
no, right?
Yeah. Like France, I'm not really sure how big any chain is there, but yeah.
It's like that pizza place, local versus franchise idea.
Yeah, it's tough in those
coffee, yeah.
markets. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it.
We're done.
We're done, guys.
Wow.
Thanks for watching.
Episode 7, baby.
Let's go to the
Hope
back,
you liked
boys.
it. Okay. Jesus. All right, Nathan, say it.
Smash that like button.